Hey guys, what is happening, and welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be telling you about my personal journey of moving to Calgary and why actually I think looking back I didn't need to move here, why I benefited from moving here, and why I'm leaving. So without further ado guys, let's do this. Alright guys, so as you may or may not know, I moved to Calgary back at the end of 2018. I received a work opportunity out here, and basically I was under the impression, like everybody else, that Calgary was the greatest place on earth because it was much cheaper back then than it is right now. And also I was looking at it at the fact, well, it's close to the mountains, and basically, you know, I was going through all the same problems that everybody does when they move to a place. And the thing is guys, what I do on this channel is I give you my uncut views, and I try and tell you where I messed up so that you don't mess up like I did. And you know, this is why I'm coming out with this personal story, is because I've become to realize that I was just lucky when I moved here. And having said that, if the pandemic hadn't have happened, then I would have definitely 100% regretted moving out here, because it was a waste of time and it was a waste of money. So the thing is guys, when we go and look at a place to move, we always kind of make that place out to be better than it actually is. Now this is really common actually, and it's more common than you think. So for example, you might say, well, Calgary is much cheaper than Ontario. The higher income, it's got higher income than Ontario and everything like that. It's by the mountains. The traffic is better. And then when it comes to the negative things, you don't really contemplate how big they could really be. Like for example, the winter, the fact that the labor market is really poor here, and the fact that you're more likely to lose your job and fall on really hard times than in other parts of the country. Now the thing is, the one thing that I find I can't get my head around it, and I tried my hardest. You can look back years ago on my other videos and you'll find out that I seriously tried. I tried everything to tell myself that this was the place that I wanted to live and that everything was going to be roses here. But the pure fact of the matter is, after 2 winters here, I realized that I could not live here. The winters are brutal here, and a lot of people will tell you they're not so bad, and I think that is absolute BS. The one advantage is you get the sunshine, which is nice in the winter, but the disadvantage is you have a lot of days where it is -20, -30, -40, and that is just brutal. You cannot go outside, and believe me, I've been the one guy who does go outside on days like that. And it is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And as an outdoorsy person, I absolutely cannot stand that. I hate it. And the pure fact of the matter is, yes, you get Chinooks in Calgary, but that is when the temperatures go from extreme cold to cold. You're not going from extreme cold to warm, you're just going from extreme cold to cold and then back to extreme cold. You know, those Chinooks, they often come during the week when most people are working, and then you're back to extreme cold through the weekend. Now the other thing is, because of the altitude here and the fact it's so far north in the northern hemisphere, it means that it gets cold at night no matter what time of the year. So in the winter all the way through to May, you are negative temperatures, like -5, -6 at a minimum, but most of the time you're double digits and your negative temperatures. So if you can't stand the cold weather, trust me, do not move here. The other thing is the mountains. The mountains aren't in Calgary. They're actually 2 hours west of Calgary. And you know, that may not seem like a lot, but trust me, that becomes tiresome as well. You're not really near the mountains. If you live in a place like Canmore, yeah, you're really at the mountains. Like, you can say that's a plus, but living in Calgary, I don't really think so. It becomes a hassle going out there. It's especially expensive. It's just adding to your expenses. Sure, there is beautiful places you can go. I know many quiet spots that I have found over the years in the mountains that are beautiful places to go hiking, but they're not that close if you live in Calgary, and the roads are busy getting out there. It's really just a disaster since the pandemic. It's hard to find parking and even do like the trails that are hiked the most. And then there's the other part to the weather, which is the summer. Now, the summer can be absolutely beautiful like it is right now, which is rare, because normally, like, we have smoke here, and the smoke is just getting worse. So the thing is, the smoke is really bad. Like, it's bad for your health. It's literally like smoking cigarettes. So the thing is, that's a big deal for us, because we're like, we don't want to live in a place that is smoky. And that's what makes it so laughable that so many people have moved to the Okanagan, because that place is like pretty much constantly on fire, and then that smoke blows over here. But Calgary, because of where it's positioned and because of the prevailing winds, it gets hit by smoke a lot. So if there's smoke anywhere in Idaho, Montana, Washington, BC, it all heads straight towards Calgary. And we've even had smoke come as far as California, like last year. So the thing is, that kind of makes your short summer horrible, because trust me, again, as an outdoorsy person, I've been out and I've tried to do my normal activities when it's smoky, and it is freaking horrible. I in fact hiked to the top of a mountain, and guess what? When I got to the top of the mountain, my lungs felt like glass. I felt absolutely horrible, and the smoke was barely there that day. It was very minimum levels. That's why I went out. I thought, well, there's not that much smoke, so surely it's going to be okay. So where am I? I'm heading up Arusa or Bruta or something like that. It's a peak. It's about 3,000 meters, the top, which is over 10,000 feet above sea level. I just wanted to share with you the view. You start at around 7,000 feet, but if you look around here, it's not that smoky today compared to what it's been to recently, but it is crazy. And I realized how damaging that smoke is to you. So if that's your thing, then come here by all means. But basically, guys, I'm just saying the negatives are not small. They're absolutely ginormous. And the thing is, people right now are just moving from terrible places to bad places. Like, that is not a good thing to do, and that's exactly what I did too. And I don't want people to waste the time and the money and the effort, because we don't have that long on this earth. Why waste? It takes about 2 years, guys, for you to live in a place and realize whether you like it or not. 2 whole years. So if you come here, spend 2 years and you don't like it like I have, then you're wasting your life. And trust me, it's still in Canada, still got all the problems that Canada has, and they're not getting better anytime soon. The only good thing about Alberta is the fact that people are really nice outside of Calgary and Edmonton. The fact that they build lots of houses, so the houses are a lower price, albeit still very expensive and unaffordable to most young people that I have actually spoken to, because I actually speak to people instead of just sitting behind a screen with a keyboard. So the thing is, guys, just weigh it all up, because, you know, I feel like these days there is a lot of BS out there. And if you're out there seriously believing the government, thinking that the government, who is now advertising come to Alberta, is like the real deal, then you've seriously got issues. But honestly, guys, I would just really, you know, inflame all the bad things about moving here, like the winters, the smoke, because it's all going to get worse. The cost of living, it's going to skyrocket just like it is everywhere else. And now we're looking to leave, and yeah, you know, we haven't left yet, but believe me when I say we are leaving, like that decision is made. It's just a case of where and when now, and that is all being worked out, and we will be gone, trust me, in the next couple of years. So anyway, I've enjoyed my time living here and I don't regret it, and that's purely because of the pandemic and the fact the restrictions were much less here in Alberta than in other provinces. However, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have left already, and I probably would have regret moving here, to be honest, because like a lot of people are doing right now, I kind of suppressed all the negative things about living in a place like Alberta and just made the positive things really rosy. And the fact is, when you actually live here, you experience what is here. You cannot hide it anymore. So thank you for watching. Peace.